When a judge can't judge, my nightmare of the Baltimore court system. What an interesting book. I'm just sitting there reading it. That's all I was doing. Interesting book. Let's talk about this book for a second. Oh, sorry about that. Welcome back to International Fathers. I'm your host and your creator, Nelson M. Moody Sr. About the book. This book tells how I represented myself with no law degree to the Supreme Court of the United States to show how there was nothing to prove that I was the person that I was alleged to be. I was alleged to be a father with inappropriate discipline and behavior to and on my son for 10 long years without facts, proof, evidence, or credible witnesses. It also tells how everyone kept passing the buck, didn't want to investigate my case or listen to anything that I had to the Supreme Court of the United States. It's all good. The opposing side never gave me a run for my money or challenged anything that I presented to any court, from the Circuit Court of Maryland, Baltimore City to the Supreme Court of the United States. The table of contents. Chapter 1, May the 9th, 1994, the beginning. Chapter 2, the teardown, the pain, the wounds, and the scars. Chapter 3, 1996, rock bottom until October of that year. Chapter 4, 1996, the upset. Chapter 5, 1997, the faith, hope, and endurance. Hebrews 11:1. Chapter 6, 1998, the thrill of victory. Philippians 4:13. Chapter 7, my experience and knowledge gained. Chapter 8, God pilot, Jesus co-pilot, me the mechanic. The beginning and the ending. Chapter 9, very interesting chapter. No one would listen. No one would listen because I was representing myself. Chapter 10, man, father, and daddy. A man who fathered a child and earned the title daddy. Chapter 11, the final judgment. Chapter 12, public interest and opinion. Chapter 13, knowledge versus trainees. Nelson Moody Sr. versus them. Chapter 14, can't face the truth. My son, this one's for you. Chapter 15, when a judge can't judge. I like that chapter. Chapter 16, glory to God, the author and finisher of life. Let me read a little bit about this book. The preface. When dealing with a child or children and you're a parent by way of the biological side of meaning, a parent can be a father, a mother, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, a godfather, a godmother, a grandfather, or grandmother. Whatever the case, a parent has the job of raising a child that has been brought into this world by live birth. No one asked to come here, but you get here by way of sexual intercourse, and the next thing you know, a pregnancy takes place for 7 to 9 months, unless a baby comes early or late. When a baby is born, it should be the best moments of your life. So we as parents should do everything to help, nurture, guide, lead, love, and protect this baby. Some do, and then some don't. Oftentimes come when you don't know how to do these things because you didn't have anyone to teach you, or you may know how to do these things, but for some unknown reason you don't. Then the child suffers because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Then you have the ones who were not taught anything, but they are the ones who have challenged themselves to put more into their children when they start having them. These people are called exceptions to the rule. These people are determined to put their children, not to put their children through the same way as it happened to them. I'm one of them exceptions to the rule. Growing up without my father, but turned out to be a great dad. I am one of those exceptions to the rule. As a child growing up in East Baltimore, Maryland, the state of Maryland, I spent 8 years of my life in Lafayette Projects with my mother and my 2 brothers. We were close as anyone can be back in the mid-60s to the early 70s. However, there was something missing in my life, and you feel bad because you can't relate to what they are talking about or what they are saying. Your friends I'm talking about, y'all. So you try to get along with it and pretend that you really know what they're talking about. Then reality kicks in and you say to yourself, wait a minute, I didn't have one of those that they're talking about. I didn't play baseball or play with racing cars like my friends did. You also say to yourself, I didn't have a father. At first they knock you out, and it just takes you by the surprise. This book will talk about the nightmare with the judicial system here in Baltimore, Maryland. What I had to go through to show Baltimore City, the state of Maryland, and the United States that there are some daddies still around, and I will not fit into the stereotype category that men can't be fathers. I'm going to read a little bit of chapter 10 to you. Chapter 10, Man, Father, and Daddy. A man who fathered a child that earned the title Daddy. During my nightmare with the court system, I had some women who didn't like the idea of me pursuing my case like I was. But when I asked the question, was it right for my son's mother and her 2 witnesses to say what they said without facts, proof, and evidence, those same women who I asked this question had nothing to say then. I noticed that the ones who had a problem with me pursuing the case the way that I did had a child, or more than one father wasn't in the child's life. They were fatherless child or children who ran her instead of them. In some cases were fatherless children themselves, or had dysfunctional fathers. That means men unable to function as fathers. Daughters were more grown than them in just about all ways. The sons did what they wanted to. They didn't spend much time with them, or to put them off on other people and things before their children. Had more than one baby father. Didn't think that fathers like me existed, but way out there. Knew fathers like me existed, but didn't want to come to reality because they had a bad experience with their man who fathered a child or children by them, and they tend to stereotype all of us as not being fathers to our child or children. Society tend to think that way also, but this list could go on. But these are some of the main ones that I've noticed. On the other hand, the people who admired me, because there were some people who admired me pursuing my court case the way that I did, to show what was best for my son. These people were married couples or people living together that had strong morals, standards, rule setting, working, and believe that a lot of men, single fathers, get screwed in the court system. Some single mothers who had it going on from job, school, and house, and everything else, and one who admired men who take care of their responsibilities, who also had standards and values. Single fathers who have been through what I've been through, or those who the mother felt it was best for the child to show them better off with their father. You have a lot of those out there too. Children, for no reason of their own, have a father in their lives, or father just stopped dealing with their children, with no acknowledgement of the child or children. That was chapter 10. This is a very inspiring book. When a Judge Can't Judge, My Nightmare of the Court System, Baltimore, Maryland. You can order this book at Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, Author House, and wherever books are sold. It's available on eBay, Kindle, Nook. When a Judge Can't Judge. I am Nelson M. Moody Sr., and this has been International Fathers, the reading version. Until next time.